to the Gibb River Road video. We're pretty keen on this one. It's been on the bucket list for a while now. So yesterday we left Broome and we headed through to Derby to get some supplies. On the way there is a prison boab tree, so that was pretty cool to go and see. It was a massive tree. And then yeah.
So from Derby, pretty much that's the last town for all your main supplies, so your woolies, your fuel, etc. And then we just stayed probably 15 minutes out of town at Birdwood Downs Station, as you can see behind us, a few of the locals. And yeah, today's our kind of first big day on the Gibb. We're going to head down to Winjana Gorge and also Tunnel Creek and probably camp around there for the night and then keep heading east. Right guys, we went to Winjana Gorge and there's a couple of different walks you can do here. One's the Gorge Trail, which kind of loops around the old reef, kind of cliff face here, and the other one kind of goes through the guts along the water. So I think we're going to start with that one. It's 1k, about 45 minutes, and then we might do the other one if it's not too hot.
Right guys, so we've made it to Tunnel Creek. So you can see the first little bit walks you to the start of the tunnel and then you go through this subterranean trail. That's where you actually have to walk through the caves. But yeah, there is freshwater crocodiles, so we'll see how we go. But it's only a 2k return, so we're going to do that one. Hot tip also before coming to the cave is to buy some type of head torch. Unfortunately we didn't have any, so we thought we'd try it with just our phone lights, but it's seriously pitch black in there and we ended up waiting for some people so that we could see. You also need your hands to swim in one of the sections as it is up to your neck deep, so a head torch and a wet bag would be handy. Alrighty guys, so we made it back to Leonard River. We're staying here. It's just a free camp on the side of the road, nothing too special.
Yeah, it's pretty much at the intersection of the Winjana Gorge Road, can't remember the name, but also the Derby Gibb River, and we're literally a couple hundred metres from the Leonard River crossing. Yeah. So yeah, we left the dogs here while we went and did a couple of things today, and yeah, that road, it's rough in sections, but it's also quite good. And yeah, you could do it in two-wheel drive if you had to, but it'd just be
it's a bit rough.
Bit rough and slow, but nothing too bad. And yeah, camp up here for the night.
And yeah, that Tunnel Creek, is that what it's called?
Yeah, Tunnel Creek.
Yeah, that was awesome. We didn't have head torches, but we thought, oh, we'll go down with our phone lights and see if we can do it. But no, it is pitch black there. So we just waited for some other people to come through.
Definitely you need like Crocs or kind of water shoes.
Yeah.
Definitely need a torch or a headlight. And
we were swimming like proper swimming, like that's how deep it is. It's not just like up to your knees.
Yeah,
I
tried to walk, but it went over my head, so the middle part's quite deep.
Yeah.
And yeah, but definitely recommend doing it. It's really cool in there too, so you get out of the heat.
Cool, yeah.
And the water's quite fresh, but it's nice. And go right to the end until kind of the last hole in the tunnel. There's a couple of kind of little bits of sun that come in, but row right to the end, and yeah, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and now we're just gonna go down to the little creek here and see if there's a spot that we can take the dogs just to let them cool off. And that's us for the day.
Hit the dirt part of the Gibb River Road. So yeah, the first kind of like 150k from Derby to Leonard River crossing is actually all bitumen, which is all good. And then as you cross the river, it goes to dirt corrugated road, and it's been pretty easy for the first 5-10k so far. But we're going to be making our way to Marchfly Glen Campground, where we'll probably drop the van off. And
then from there we're going to visit Bell's Gorge, which is about 45 minutes from camp. It's also not dog friendly, unfortunately, but we've heard that this one's really quick walk in, but it's like one of the best ones for swimming because it's so deep. So yeah, that's sort of our plan today. We've got another stinker of a day.
38, 39 day. I think it's just a regular now.
Yeah, this whole week's just hot.
Yeah, so yeah, up nice and early and on the road.
Alright guys, so we made it to Bell Creek. A bit of a rough road in, but it wasn't too bad. So yeah, it's just a small 2-kilometre return hike down to the creek, so very keen for a swim.
Gorge.
For tonight's dinner, we've whipped up some Ballara beef burgers. We had their hot dogs the other night, which were so good. No like gristly bits and stuff. So what we've done, we've just got our buns, and then we've put on some mustard. I got a coleslaw, beetroot, and then just the burger. So yesterday we wrapped up with Bell's Gorge. We just spent a couple of hours there. Lockie was doing some cliff jumping and trying to climb up the little waterfall. But yeah, it was a really good spot for a swim. It's super deep, and there's a few pools, so even if it is a bit busy, you can sort of spread yourself out.
Yeah, it's an awesome little spot. Like Monique was saying, it's just a big area, deep, and you feel pretty safe there with kind of crocs and that type of thing. So yeah, we packed up from Marchfly Glen Campground this morning. We stopped in for fuel at, I think it's a Minji kind of store. Got some fuel there, and you can also camp there and drop off some rubbish. Yeah. And we're heading to Adcock Gorge, so it's probably about an hour from Marchfly to there. And yeah, we're going to go check out Adcock and then keep making our way east.
then decided it was a good idea to go climb the gorge and see what was on top. Of course, they had to cliff jump back down. Alrighty guys, so we just left Adcock Gorge. That was a good little spot to have the dogs. It was nice. It was a real
big kind of swimming pool again, similar to Bell's but not as big.
Yeah.
But yeah, a few cliff jumping and swimming and yeah, dog friendly, which is awesome.
And there's a little like a 4-wheel drive sort of track, so you like park at the end. You can't tow as well, so we had to unhitch. But then you get to like the car park, but if you just keep going you can do this little 4-wheel drive bit.
Yeah, most people park at like the Boab tree about, I think it's 500 metres before the actual kind of end.
Yeah.
It's a bit gnarlier at the end, like rock steps and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you've got high clearance 4-wheel drive, just keep going to the end.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Little probably like 500 metre walking trail in. And yeah, it was awesome. The temperature there was nice in the water.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just went back, hitched back on the van, and we're going to head to Mount Barnett and yeah.
Stay here the night. There's supposed to be like a little creek section which we can take the dogs, and then there's a gorge as well, which they can't come to, but that's okay. We might do that as well, either this afternoon or tomorrow morning.
Alright guys, we're at Manning Gorge and we're going to do the 5k return walk today. First up, we've got to cross a bit of water and then do about a 2.5k walk to the kind of waterfalls in the gorge at the end. Best part about the walk is you get to swim at the start and at the end. So yeah. Okay guys, so we just finished up at the Manning Gorge walk and yeah, packed up camp and we're heading out. Yeah, the walk was really good. It was a bit over 5k what they said. It was probably about 5.5 to 6.
Yeah.
And took us about nearly an hour kind of each way walking, and then we probably spent an hour down there.
Yeah, it's not that tough of a walk really, and it's so worth it. At the end there's a big swimming pool and you can do like cliff jumping, and yeah, no, it's a good little spot.
Yeah, it does get quite hot middle of the day, so maybe try go morning or arvo, but definitely worth it. And the campground was quite good. I think it was $25 per person per night, which is a bit eggsy, but they do have toilets and showers and bins and that type of thing there. Yeah,
and you do have access to the river too. So there's actually, if you keep going, there's quite a few sites. Like, looked busy at the start, but then yeah, it went down to quite a few sites.
And we're going to go get some fuel and water now from Mount Barnett station, and then we're going to head to, I think, Galvin's.
Yeah. Guys, so last night we pulled into Hahn River It's just a little free camp there, and there's a few spots along the bank. That was a really nice little spot. It had a little fire pit, and yeah,
it's about 45 from Mount Finance Station.
It wasn't too far.
And yeah, we've packed up and we're heading east. I think we might stop at Ellenbray Station tonight. We've been tossing up about Mitchell Falls and Columbaroo, but we've heard the road up there is pretty shocking.
Yeah.
And also it's pretty hard with us to do Mitchell Falls with dogs, because King George Campground isn't dog friendly, Mitchell Falls isn't dog friendly, so the closest is Drysdale, and that's still about a, I think, 4-hour drive.
One way,
so we'd have to do like a big day trip, and yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
And as you can probably hear, the road has already gotten a little bit worse than what it was.
Yeah, the western side's all been graded and was pretty good up until Mount Finance. And yeah, it's a bit shocking now. So anyway, we'll catch up when we're at Ellenbray. After enjoying a scone and a mango smoothie, we decided to keep heading east as it was only early on in the day. We stopped along the Durack River for a fish and to take in the epic view.
Alrighty, what's happening?
Welcome to the Gib. Fucking done a tyre. We're about 40 k's, I think, from the Pentecost River, and it is notorious that from kind of the turn off, kind of at the Columbaroo intersection to Pentecost is meant to be quite shaly and sharp. And yeah, we saw a guy back before the Durack that had done 2, and yeah, we've just done 1, so that's lucky in a way, but yeah, we'll get this off and swap it out.
Wouldn't be the Gib River Road without at least one tyre going.
Alright, I've got the tyre off. There's a couple of punctures in the sidewall. One right up here, which is pretty big, and then another one here. If it was just that one, I'd probably try and repair it, but there's 2, so I think I'll just swap it out for a freshie. We ended up replacing the tyre with a spare, but the drama didn't stop here. We were trying to find a camp along the Pentecost River, and it was dark. Of course, we had to get bogged, but luckily our mates gave us a quick pull with their winch to get us out. Alright guys, so we had a bit of a hectic afternoon yesterday. As you would have seen, we did a tyre, and then we got into camp pretty late at the Pentecost River. And then to top it off, we got bogged there too. So it was a bit of a late night last night. But this morning we got up and Monique drove back through the Pentecost River.
Yes.
And,
yeah, we decided we wanted to get some footage of it. It would have actually been perfect if we hadn't have done the tyre. Yeah, because we would have had it at sunset, and there would have been no one there. But anyway, we did it this morning. It was a little bit busy, but yeah, we've ticked that one off the bucket list, and we're making our way to El Questro.
Yeah, and after that river, it seems like this road is all bitumen. I know El Questro Road isn't bitumen, but it looks like it's all bitumen from here on. But we're not pumping the tyres up yet, because we're going to do El Questro, and we're talking to some people, and they said it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to stay there for 2 nights and see what we get up to.
We made our way to El Crestro, which is a beautiful drive with a few creek crossings. That afternoon we set up camp and had a look at what the different gorges were to do in the area. Later we went to happy hour to enjoy a feed and watch the AFL Grand Final. The next day we decided to start the morning with Zebedee Springs. Then we made our way 3.8 kilometres up the road to Amelia Gorge.
This morning we woke up early and we did Zebedee Springs, which is the hot spring.
Yeah, it's only like a 400-metre walk in, and there's not heaps of room, but we managed to find a spring, so that was nice.
Yeah, good little private spot.
Yeah, we've just come up and did Amelia, I'm pretty sure is how you say it, gorge. It wasn't the best gorge we've been to be fair, on the Gib, but it was a nice walk and it was worth having a swim. So yeah, we're just gonna go back now, have a bit of lunch, fuel up again, and then head to El Crestro Gorge. Alrighty guys, so we just finished the El Crestro Gorge. That was beautiful. We actually were talking to a couple of people on the way back through, and they've actually done some tours there before and said that it's actually the quietest they've ever seen it. It might have helped with the time of day because we did do it in the afternoon, but yeah, we ended up getting the whole end of it to ourselves, which was really nice.
Yeah, it's probably my favourite walk and kind of gorge, I reckon, on the Gib, maybe whole of WA. The walk was really cool because it was in the shade and the palms and the ferns.
Yeah, it wasn't as hot.
And it was really muggy still, but you had little swimming holes the whole way along. Yeah. And then at the end it was just awesome. We had it to ourselves, the waterfall and swimming hole, and yeah, it took us about 2.5 hours there and back, and I think we spent maybe half an hour down the end.
Yeah.
But definitely recommend doing El Crestro Gorge if you're at El Crestro.
did the last gorge for the Gib, Emma Gorge, and it was beautiful. It's definitely up there with one of our favourite ones. It wasn't too long of a hike.
I think it was about 2.8 returns, so
yeah,
it's probably one of the shorter ones, which is nice.
Yeah, and it probably the one with the coldest water we found, because like most of the gorge is in the shade, but that's actually quite nice when it's 38-degree heat. So yeah, no, it's a beautiful little one, and it's got a big waterfall and you can swim to the other side, and that basically wraps up our time on the Gib. Yeah, so we were planning on spending about 9 days, but we finished it in about 8. So yeah, some parts were different to what we thought. Like the last 100k from the Pentecost was all bitumen, so that was surprising. And yeah, we've had a great time exploring everything across the Gib, and definitely recommend it to anyone thinking about it. Yeah, it's definitely worth just preparing for it properly. I think definitely puts your mind at ease. Yeah, but it's so worth it. If you've got a full drive, you'll have so much fun. Yeah, it was a really good week. And if you have any questions about it, put a comment down below, and we might also do another quick kind of video on a bit of a Q&A. So if you've got any questions, put them through, and we might try and run through our tips and whatnot for the Gib. Yeah. And yeah, hope you enjoyed.